Welcome back to another segment of Behind the Scenes of the Waltons. Today, I'm being joined by another special guest. Lisa Harrison is joining me. Now, Lisa played Toni Hazelton, who went on to marry Jason Walton in the series, in the later reunion movies. So, please welcome Lisa. Oh, let's just kick into this. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for agreeing to come and chat with me and primarily chat with all of the Walton fans out there who I've been asked about you. It's like, why don't you get Lisa on? I said, yeah, I should do that. So you have fans.
Well, thank you. We love you. All the Waltons love all you guys that love the Waltons. And so welcome and thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I have such wonderful memories.
Good. Well, I look forward to hearing them. I want to start, speaking of fans, because I just recently, at the end of one of my segments, because I always say, well, and I hope to have more special guests. And I said, and I'm going to be talking with Lisa. So if you have a question for her, because I always end up with people afterwards saying, oh, ask her this. And I remember in advance to say, what do you want to know? So I did have a handful of questions for you.
Okay.
So let's start there.
Okay.
One person wanted to know, were you a fan of the show before being cast?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think I'd seen you guys maybe on the Dinah Shore show. The whole cast.
Yeah.
And all I remember about that is, I think it was Dinah. And she asked Michael, what advice do you have to give people? And Michael didn't know what to say. And she said, keep your nose clean. But yeah, I loved the show. I loved The Homecoming, which I watched with my family. So yes.
Sweet.
Well, it was very funny because what I can tell you is I always wanted a family. Like the fans of the Waltons either had a family like the Waltons or they wanted a family like the Waltons. So I wanted a family like the Waltons and I manifested the Waltons.
Oh.
So I became part of your family, which
so you really got to be have a family like the Waltons, as dysfunctional as we are. Off screen. It's tough to live up to all that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I think that's probably what had Michael flustered, because it is challenging to live up to being the best of what the show represented. And I think we do, the cast, we do aspire to that, but we're aware of how much we fall short at times. So I always say,
yes, we're human.
So much easier on TV.
Well, we're human and we're dealing with different things than the Waltons were dealing with in the 30s.
Yes. And we don't have Earl Hamner scripting our life with many rewrites.
And why is that? Come on, Earl, you're up there. You can be there for all of us now.
Yeah.
So yes, we just have to channel our inner Earl.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So yes, big fan.
Thank you. And then a regular subscriber who often asks interesting questions, Dry Cracker, said, if you could ask Lisa about her favorite episode or memories about the Waltons, and if she had to choose between acting and music, which would be her first choice?
Oh, that's easy. Both. They actually go together because 50% of singing is acting. If you're not telling a story, if you're not bringing to life that music, it's boring no matter how beautiful your voice is. So it really is intertwined. And I really do think of it as just one side and the other side of it. One has tones and one doesn't. But it still is your heart telling a story and embodying that song, embodying that character. So very simple. What's really interesting is Shawn Barbara Allen asked me a very similar question. I think I met her before I met you guys. And I went over to her apartment. Jon took me over there. And Shawn and I are so much alike. And for the fans out there, she is the actress who played in The Love Story with John Boy. And I don't know if you know this, Judy. Shawn collected penguins too.
I don't know if I knew that. Wow.
Right? And so we just connected. And Shawn said, if you couldn't act, Lisa, what would you do?
Mm.
And I said, there's nothing in the world I would do. I have to do this. And she said, that's the right answer. She said, I ask everybody who wants to be an actor that question. And if there's anything else that they say, I say, go do that. Do that instead of acting. And there isn't, and like I said, I think of music in that acting category. And what was really funny is when I first met you guys and I came on the set, well, first of all, you were all around. Jon brought me and he said, this is my girlfriend, Linda. And I said, it's Lisa. And so I felt like, oh my God, he doesn't know my name. And he goes, I'm sorry, we were just talking about Linda Blair. So I get introduced as the wrong name. And then I would hear these whispers. She's just like Shawn. She's just like Shawn. Oh, she looks like Shawn. I don't think I look like Shawn, but I will tell you something that happens, which is funny. We'll be going on a Walton function, and people will come up to me and say, I loved you in the love story. And I go, oh, thank you. But that was Shawn Barbara Allen. And that kept happening and happening. And they were so disappointed. So I learned to say, thank you. Just go.
I think it's the smile. You both have a really, prominent smile that just, you can't miss it. It's right there. It's,
Well, she was a very special lady. She had a beautiful daughter, Emily, who I just love. And I can't believe she's gone.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
I did a sort of a tribute segment when she passed away.
Oh, thank you.
There were so many beautiful comments. I had spoken to her a year or so before she passed. I had a phone conversation with her and invited her. I called to find out if she would perhaps come be a guest, and she was not. She's like, oh, I'm just such a recluse now that
she is.
She was. And she said, I can't. And so she shared how much she loved the cast, how much she loved the show and working on it and everything. And so I shared that with everybody at that time, because I had said, I spoke with Shawn, and she has politely and graciously declined, not because she doesn't love the show, but, and so then I think we all were just heartbroken to hear that she passed what seems like so young as we.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, she was definitely, that was a very big part of her personality, was to be a recluse. So I felt very special that she let me in her world, since I knew that. I mean, even when she was very young, she was very much like that.
I think people might be surprised about how many actors really are very shy. I mean, I think I can be extroverted, but I'm not all that comfortable in a lot of situations where I don't know people and stuff. So I think it's not at all an uncommon trait. And I don't know if it has something to do with why we gravitate, that it's an arena where we can, in a controlled, safe space, be things like people ask me about how much of Mary Ellen was like me. I said, well, what I loved about her was that she was such a rebel, and I never had the nerve to be a rebel in real life, but I got to do that on camera without the consequences in real life.
Yeah, that works out really well. But think about it. All the comedians that we hear are really serious. I heard that Lucille Ball was like a really serious person. And Steve Martin, I heard, was very shy. And here he comes on stage and he's like, oh, wild and crazy guy, Yeah. So like you said, it is a safe space to embody this other character. And then we go inside. I found that taking improv classes helped me with my shyness, and then doing a couple of USO tours where we were told, listen, there's going to be 7,000 guys on a ship that you're going on. and they will have seen you in the movies or TV. They'll be very shy. You have to start conversations with them. Mm. And my thought inside was, oh, God, no, 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 please don't make me do that. And you know what? It really helped bring me out of my shell to be in a position to go up to different people and find out about them. Mm. And it really helped. Mm. So if there's anybody shy out there, if there's an improv class, boy, that's magic. That is magic because it makes you think quicker. Mm-hmm. And I think that helps.
Yeah. And it also is geared towards being open to things as opposed to closed. I spoke with Susan Krebs, who was in the Idol episode. She played the teacher that Elizabeth, just thought was the bee's knees. And then, she had a brain tumor. And so I spoke with Susan, and she said she did a lot of improv and that it became sort of her philosophy for life. Yes. And.
Yes. And. Yep.
As opposed to stopping everything, that you get, it's like never say no in an improv. And.
Yeah, I mean, in the most absurd situations, because they could say to you, why did you kill your baby? And your instinct is, no, I didn't kill my baby. You have to say something like, I didn't know drying them off in the microwave would make them explode. I mean, you have to go with whatever you're given. Mm-hmm. And so that's the yes. That's the yes, even if it's absurd, so I think that's magical. I was in an improv troupe for years, and we performed at Theater on Melrose. And we would not only improvise scenes, we improvised songs and choreography where we had to match each other. And I didn't think that was possible. And now I know the trick of how to do it. It was
amazing. Wow.
Very fun.
Okay. So first half of his question, I'll backtrack to, which was your favorite episode or memories of the Waltons.
Okay. I have funny snippets. I think my favorite was giving birth in church and screaming. I love that. I have watched that back and wish I'd gone even further with it and screamed even. I loved that. And I would talk to Earl and I said, Toni hates being pregnant. I think every time we see her, she should be pregnant, like 8.5, 9 months pregnant and going, Jason. And then there's another kid and another kid. And I said, I think that's the running joke, because what I love and ultimately missed was that kind of country humor that Will would bring, and it just, that I wanted that fun silliness, and Yancey Tucker would do something funny with the chicken, and we'd laugh. So that type of thing. I remember having a picnic outside and watching the ham start turning a weird shade of green and curling in the sun. I really loved singing at the Dewdrop Inn. And the song that we sang, I've got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle. That song was picked because Rod Peterson loved that song. So he was so excited to give it to us. Because I'd never heard it before.
I know he was probably the producer at that point. Did he write the episode or
I think he may have written it.
Okay.
I think he may have produced and written it with Claire. So those are some very fun moments. And then I had really interesting, acting-wise, an interesting moment that was very hard for me. When you guys got to know me, you guys were so wonderful and so friendly and just made me feel like part of the family, except for two people, Ellen and Edie. And Edie was our hairdresser. Bill Reynolds was the makeup guy. We bonded immediately. In fact, Bill, Bill broke the union rules and there'd be guest people and he'd go, Lisa, go do their makeup. And he would let me put makeup on people, which I just loved. And in fact, when he retired, he came to the house and brought me his makeup boxes that he used, filled with makeup. I still have, I love them. Anyway, Edie was 400 years old. She'd been around, early television and early movies. And she was a crusty old broad. And here I was being nice and bubbly. She could not be bothered with me. Oh God, another one kind of thing. And Ellen, she didn't quite trust me. So it took a while to win them both over. And I did. And I became very close with Ellen. And I became very close with Edie by going, I have been so nice to her. She wants nothing to do with me. Forget her. And every time I'd act like, forget her, she liked me more. And so the more I wasn't nice and wasn't really giving her the time of day, she was wonderful. So I got real close with Edie. And then I guess she retired and we got another person in to do.
Shirley, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. I think so. Anyway, I guess I didn't realize that Edie wasn't well.
Yeah.
And so I was just walking out from hair and makeup, about to shoot a scene where Jason proposes to Toni and they ring the church bells. And if you watch that, my eyes are filled with tears and I'm full of joy from knowing I'm going to get married to the love of my life. Actually, what happened is I was walking out of the room and Shirley goes, Edie died. And I went, what? And they go, places. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? And I'm actually crying. Because I just got that news. So that was real hard, but you have to take whatever is going on with you and then make it work for that scene. So I wanted to make it look like tears of joy, but they were actually definitely tears of sadness of losing Edie, who I just adored. I just loved her. She's great.
Did you meet Ellen before her stroke? I know you didn't come on the show.
Oh my gosh, way before. Okay. Ellen told great stories. Ellen was very, very spiritual. And she told this, can I tell an Ellen story?
Yes, please.
Oh, Ellen and her mom were very, very close. And Ellen in the early days was a script supervisor. And they had these radiator heaters in their apartment, and she lived with her mom. And so she got up early in the morning and was cold, and she got too close to the radiator heater, and on her thigh, she burned her thigh very, very badly, blisters. And her mom wrapped it up and sent her to work. And when she came home from work, she said, take your bandage off. And Ellen took the bandage off her leg, and the blisters and everything were gone. And her mother lifted her own skirt, and it was on her. It was on her mom.
Wow.
The burn. So that's how close and spiritual and connected they were. It was amazing. So yes, oh, absolutely. Because I came around in 76. So yes, I knew Ellen before her stroke. In fact, when she had her stroke, this was really very interesting. That night, Jon and I had the same dream. I don't remember what it was, but we both woke up and said, I had such a bizarre dream. And we told each other, and we had the same one. And we had gotten word, don't go visit Ellen. Nobody can come and visit her. And I said, you're her grandson. We're going. And Stella was there and said, oh, I'm so glad you're there. And so we got to see Ellen. And I said, Ellen, we had the same dream last night. Was that from you? And she went. So she somehow was sending us a message. Wish I could remember what the dream was. But yeah, we were very, very connected, and she loved butterflies. I'm not butterflies, ladybugs.
Right.
And so every time I see a ladybug, I say, hi, Ellen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, she lives right here. And after her stroke, her acting, oh my gosh. Talk about an acting class. Look at what's going on in her face. Without being able to say a word, she told volumes. You know, that's a master class right there.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Yeah, I've frequently say that.
Yeah,
Less is
incredible.
more.
Yeah.
You need fewer words. If doesn't matter how many words. If, like you said, with the song, people, can have beautiful voices, and you can appreciate the sound, but not be emotionally engaged because nothing else is happening. There's no emotion connected to it. It's just a beautiful instrument.
Well, this is interesting. I'm a vocal coach in LA, and I'm lucky enough that I won Best Vocal Coach in LA.
Well done.
And one of the exercises that I will give if a student needs it is I'll say, take away the words. And you can sing it on different vowels, but sell me the song without the words. And I'll also say, now take away the melody. Now just feel it in your body and sing the whole song to me without making a sound. And they have to dig deep to be able to do that, because the performance of the song is as important as the technical aspect of how our bodies work and the throat works and mouth position and breathing and support and everything else. It's that soul that we give it. So, yeah. Incredible. Both she and Will. Well, everybody, it's very interesting. Magic doesn't happen that often. And when it does, you've hit the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And the chemistry with the Waltons and the Walton cast, meaning extended members. Oh my gosh, that's magic. There wasn't one person that didn't seamlessly come in and fit and be amazing. Yeah. But the core cast, wow, that chemistry was amazing. And I think that's why the Walton still has an audience today, because it continues to resonate, as does Friends, as does Modern Family. When you hit that gold, that chemistry, incredible. Just incredible.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me for the first part of my conversation with Lisa. I'll be back with more with Lisa as she talks about her time on the Waltons and her recording and singing and teaching and all of those things. So I'll see you next time for more behind the scenes of the Waltons. Thanks for watching.